つけられる。
So last week I was just sitting around and then all of a sudden Bethesda sent me a DM on Twitter and asked if I wanted to get an early code for GhostWire Tokyo. And what do you think I said? No. No, I'm kidding. Of course I said yes. How do you think I'm making this video? How do you think I got the game? Anyway, if you don't know, GhostWire Tokyo is releasing on the 25th of March, but it's actually out right now, like the moment this video came out, if you got the deluxe pre-order. Also, it is a timed exclusive for the PS5 and PC for, I believe, a year, even though Bethesda has been bought by Xbox, which is just, yeah, don't worry about that. And speaking of Bethesda, they told me that I can be as honest and real with you guys as I want, since it's not paid or sponsored or anything like that, and well, here's the truth for you guys. This game sucks. You know, I'm kidding. It's actually a really good game. I'm just messing around. I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I expected. Because, well, when I actually first heard of this game and saw some gameplay, I was like, this looks like some sort of Japanese Doctor Strange business. And you know what? It actually kind of is. But if Doctor Strange was Japanese and wasn't surrounded by a bunch of sarcastic one-liner characters all the time, and, well, even though there are some jokes here, but it's more like if you were in intense situations and like really it's quite scary at times, and if you're playing in the dark, you're in for a ride. And also, real quick, since I don't want to be wasting your time or anything before I do get into the video, is this game worth buying? Yes, it actually is. It's a really fun game. It's really immersive and everything. So yeah, if you guys don't want to waste any more time, you can also smack the like button. It really helps out the channel. But let's talk about the game itself now. So I was actually playing this on the PC with a controller, an Xbox controller to be specific. And that's actually a suggested way to play, with a controller, even though you can play with a mouse and keyboard. Sadly, I didn't actually get to play this game with a PS5 controller or on a PS5, which would have been awesome because it has the adaptive triggers elements, and that's just awesome. And I'm tempted to eventually go back and play this game on the PS5 in the future just for this feature, because the way this game actually plays, it would be truly incredible. And what I mean by that is that the controls in this game is what I really liked most about it. Apart from the dark grittiness of the world and the whole lore and all the Japanese stuff, like that, this is what really stood out for me, the controls and just being able to play the game in a certain way. It was honestly pretty challenging and really sucked me into the game, which was a pleasant surprise. And even though it's not a perfect game and the controls aren't perfect, I still rate the control system pretty highly, especially since you're just pretty much a regular guy who's been infected, pretty much half dead, and he has these powers. And then you have to find out how to use new powers, and you've got this guy KK along with you, and he's basically teaching you everything. And as you go through the game, you evolve, you got like skill trees and all that stuff. And then you use your new powers and you level up and whatnot, and you fight off the visitors, who they're the enemy in this game. Their name is like the visitors. They're a bunch of like spirits and whatnot. And as your character in the game learns to use his powers, and he's just as confused as you are, because I don't know too much about all this Japanese lore and whatnot. He's learning, you're learning, and it's a really cool way to blend the game together. But it also does depend on the difficulty setting, and to be honest with you guys, I was playing on normal difficulty. I didn't want to pump it up too much harder, but there were times where I was like, I should probably pump up the difficulty, but then again, I'm making a video. But seriously, one thing that kept bugging me in my head was like, damn, I really need to try this with adaptive triggers, because I feel like it would actually make the game more challenging, but also more immersive, and I feel like it really would have enhanced the game even more. Now, I did mention the visitors, and those are the enemies in the game, as I said, and the best way I could describe them is that they're spirits based of many different Japanese myths. So if you're into that kind of stuff, which now I'm definitely more into, and I want to find out more, this game is definitely for you. But if you're a young kid or have a young kid hanging around while you're playing this game, there might be some nightmares had after this game. I don't want to spoil too much in this video, but you've got to experience some of the spirits and visitors in this game. I found myself googling all types of old Japanese myths and lore and whatnot, and I just wanted to know more about this kind of world. And because I've actually been in Japan before, only for like 5 days, but in the heart of Tokyo, and I rented like an Airbnb in an actual apartment building where I'm 6'4", my legs were hanging off the bed and whatnot, and the shower was like down to my like down even lower. Yeah, they're very small places, Japan. but it felt authentic, and bringing that whole stuff, like that whole world into it and all the spirits and stuff, it made it feel very authentic, but very creepy and scary. And I just think there should have been more ravens. And also, I did mention weird dreams after this, and I did actually end up having a weird dream or two after playing this game, because it felt so realistic and it was so immersive, and just because I've been in that world setting before, I guess it triggered something in my head. You know, when you play a game heaps, and then you eventually start having dreams, because that's all you're doing is playing this game constantly, like in other games or whatever, that's what happens with this. So it's quite strange. Doctors... no. Anyway, so what's pretty realistic in the game are the graphics. They were very, very good, to be honest. My PC isn't the best. I definitely need to upgrade it, and I couldn't run this game to max settings with things like ray tracing and whatnot, but it still looked really, really pretty. And I can only imagine what the game would look like on a top-of-the-line PC or even the PlayStation 5. So don't worry, if you're watching my video and going, oh, these graphics aren't exactly what I imagined, it's because I wasn't running it on the craziest of settings and whatnot, and I apologize for that, but you can check out probably other videos looking at it in 4K and everything. It's definitely worth checking out, especially in person. The game is visually stunning. Now, it's not the best looking game out there, but still on the upper end. However, I will say the overall aesthetic of it and the setting in this near future creepy Japan makes up for it, so it is a really cool experience. So yeah, all in all, I really have enjoyed this game so far. I haven't finished it, but I do still think it's worth buying, and I can't wait to actually experience more of it. And I also want to note that if you've enjoyed games in the past, like The Evil Within, this game is definitely for you, even though it's quite different in the sense that it's in first person, the combat system is very different, and yeah, it's in that sort of same realm, and you'll enjoy this game. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please smack the like button. Also make sure you subscribe with the notifications on, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
生きてるみたいだ。何あれ、猫？
あれは妖怪だな。人がいなくなったから出てきやがったのか。